We got Cortney Casey back here on the program. He's going to be taking on Cynthia Calvillo at UFC on ESPN on February 17th. Courtney, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. What does Saturday look like for you? This is when we're recording the interview. Is that like a rest day, or do you actually get in some sparring? What's on the agenda for today?
Yeah, today's our small glove sparring day. So it starts at 12. So 12 to 2, we have sparring. So we get the morning off. I'll normally go in around like 11 and get a good warm up in and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a big day for us.
And it's pretty cool to be a part of the lab these days. Henry Corrales last weekend gets the big win. Last night, David Mashaw gets a big win. How's the morale with the team right now? Everything must be pretty positive.
Yeah, it's always pretty positive. We have so many fighters out of the gym, so we always get a lot of big wins. We don't have very many downs, and when we do, we just take it as a learning experience, and we get back into it. We had a couple guys on that Brooklyn card, and they were Monday getting ready. So, the morale at the gym is always really good.
I think a lot of fighters were disappointed to see the UFC 233 card canceled, except for you. This fight was moved to Phoenix, or your fight, I should say, was moved to Phoenix. How happy were you to get to fight close to home instead of fighting a month ago?
It really didn't matter to me, but it was nice. At first, I thought it was canceled altogether, and we weren't sure when we were going to fight. And then Mick told me, he's like, "Do you mind getting moved to Phoenix?" And I'm like, "Why do you keep asking me those silly questions?"
It's like way to state the obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good to be at home. I'm excited to be on the card. It's a little weird that it's on a Sunday, but we just made a few adjustments, and we're excited to go.
Yeah, what adjustments would you make fighting on a Sunday? What were some things you've done?
It just prolonged the fight week a little bit, and then just gave us that extra day, and just mentally, you know what I mean? We're used to weighing in on Friday, now we got to weigh in Saturday. I mean, it's not a big difference, but it's different more so for like friends and family and stuff like that than anything.
Does it mean anything to be fighting on the first official ESPN card, not the ESPN Plus?
It's always good to be a part of a first of something, so I'm excited about that. But other than that, I'm just excited to be able to get back in there and do my thing.
When they told you you'd be fighting Cynthia Calvillo, was this a name you were expecting, or did this come out of the blue a little bit?
I was kind of expecting her just because she was ranked pretty high before the incident in tech that she had with the commission, but it wasn't something that I was like for sure thinking I was going to get, but when they offered it to me, I was excited for it. I think it's a great matchup.
I agree. And before we talk about that, we got to talk about your last fight. Finally, a split decision goes your way. I always felt so bad. All these fights go to the distance, and for some reason they weren't getting your hand raised. Was there like a weight off your shoulders just being like, finally, the judges see things my way?
No, I was just happy I got the win, but still disappointed that it went to the decision, and that it was still that close. But yeah, I'm happy I got the job done. I went into that fight with a couple injuries, and it was short notice, but we made the adjustments we needed to make for that camp, and we ended up getting the job done. So I was excited about that. What
were some of the things you had to overcome injury wise in that fight with Angela Hill?
I had a pretty bad hand injury that I went into the fight with. But other than that, I mean, it was good to go. We just kind of knew it was going to be an issue, the second that we start, throwing my hands. I didn't use MMA gloves that entire camp. So the first time I actually threw a punch with the glove on was in the fight.
Do you feel like your experience, helped you get that win? Because, some fighters, when they have an injury, I know you're never 100%, but to be able to overcome something pretty significant like a hand and get the win anyways, that I'm sure you cite your experience as sort of being able to overcome that.
Yeah, you just kind of got to mentally prepare that's going to happen, and you just kind of got to not let it affect you too much when it does. You just got to, mentally prepare throughout the entire camp that, one punch could be a dividend, and you got to start throwing other things in there, and that's what we ended up doing.
I love this matchup because on paper, this could be fight of the night here. You guys both like to stand and trade. Is that sort of how you see the matchup? Like you guys just sort of, who's the better striker, basically?
No, I don't at all. I definitely don't think that's how it's going to go. I definitely think she's going to try to take it down, and she's going to try to get the win by submitting me. But we've been working really hard on wrestling defense and everything like that. Hopefully she stands and bangs. She likes to claim that she's a Diaz kind of fighter, and she'll stand and trade. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay, that's interesting. And anyone in particular you're working with for this camp, or is it just the same training partners as normal?
Yeah, same training partners is normal. We do have Casey Kenny has been coming up a lot from Tucson, and I've been getting a lot of work in with him, which is good. But yeah, pretty much the same training partners, same crew as always. Just in there grinding every day with those boys.
Except Lauren Murphy, I know she just I think she's just getting back to training soon, but I know she was supposed to be on this card. Obviously, got injured.
Yeah, she had toe surgery and everything was going good. She just wanted to make sure she was 100% when she went into the cage. So she ended up pulling out of the fight when it got moved. Well, once we all got moved onto that Phoenix card, she opted out of that fight. But she's in there, man. She's doing good. She looks great. Super happy for her. She should be getting in there pretty soon too. So.
Okay, and the weight cut, I imagine that's going well ahead of this fight.
Yeah, weight cut's always a weight cut, but we're staying on top of things, and we'll make sure we get the job done.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
I think it's going to be Eddie Chaw, Jakar Close, and Benson, but not sure because we have so many guys on the card. We got so many options of who we can have in the corner. So I think by time next week we should kind of have everything aired out and figured out who's going to be cornering who. But as of right now, I think that's who it's going to be.
How do you see this fight unfolding? Are we going to see a finish? Because I know that's something you've really been trying to get these last couple fights.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking for a finish. That's just kind of my style. It doesn't matter, if it's standing or if it's on the ground. I'm always going to be hunting for that finish. But yeah, I definitely do think I'm going to get the finish on this one for sure.
Do you have to alter the game plan a little bit just because she does seem pretty tough to put away? As opposed to coming out guns a-blazing, do you have to sort of alter the game plan just knowing that she is pretty difficult to put away?
No, I mean, all my past opponents that I've had, past three opponents, they've all been hard to finish. They've all had very low finishing, as far as being finished in a fight with Felice and especially Watterson and even Hill. I mean, she's gone the distance with Andrade and stuff like that. So they're all really, technical fighters and strong fighters. So I don't see it being any different with Cynthia, and the game plan stays the same. We go out there, we push the pace, and we make sure we implement our game plan the best we can.
Where do you feel like a win over Cynthia puts you? Because she was on the fast track, it looked like, towards a title shot before she lost to Carlos Esparza.
Man, I'm not sure really where it's going to put me just because she's ranked below me. But she does have some wins against girls that are higher than me. But then again, she has that win over JoJo too, but JoJo moved to another division. So I really am not sure where it's going to put me. At this point, I don't care. I just want to get the win, and hopefully I get another top 10 opponent.
Does that Mackenzie Dern fight still interest you? It seemed like you wanted that fight at least a couple fights ago anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind fighting Mackenzie. I mean, it's a name, it's a good name. But right now, I don't think she has anything on the books either. So, I mean, if it comes up, it comes up. I'll take it. I mean, I don't turn down any fights, but I definitely would like a top 10 a fighter for sure.
What's keeping you occupied outside of training camp right now? What's getting you through there as far as TV or video games or anything like that? What are you doing right now to kind of keep yourself sane through training camp?
I started watching You. Deron Wynn actually told me to watch that, so I started watching that, and then I think me and Jakar are watching like Heroin or something like that, like just random stuff on Netflix, really, and just hanging out with my family and my nephews and stuff. But yeah, it's been a good camp. I mean, we had a lot of holidays, so it was good to have those little breaks in between. But yeah, everything's the same.
And for those who don't know, what is the relationship with Deron Wynn? How far do you guys go back? Because obviously he's in California training at American Kickboxing Academy, so what's the connection there?
We met, I think a little bit over a year ago at weigh-ins. I think it was for actually Mackenzie's fight. We just been friends ever since. Since then, we just message each other back and forth, and he helps me with my wrestling stuff. I'll send him videos, he'll send me things like that. But other than that, we're just good friends. Did
you know he was recruited to go compete in the WWE?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I found that out the last time I spoke to him. Is that something that would ever interest you if the WWE came knocking and said, "Hey, we'd like a cast iron in pro wrestling"?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I could do it. I really don't know if I could. I mean, but then again, if I got to make a living, I got to make a living.
Okay, there you go. Keeping the door open. This is going to be a great fight. It's coming up here February 17th. It is UFC on ESPN 1. Courtney, really appreciate the time as always. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
You can find me at Cast Iron Casey on Instagram and Cast Iron _Casey on Twitter. Shout out to 8 Man Strong. MMA Lab, Zebra Mats. I'm gonna forget some, and I'm gonna get in trouble.
But you put them on your social media, so that's the key thing. That's why you plug it on off the top, right?
You can look at them on social media, yeah. Joe over Active Health in Scottsdale, he's been helping me out a lot too. Brandon Harris over at PFS, he's the man. But yeah, you can check everyone else out on my Instagram for sure.